Welcome to the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Prepcast, where we guide you through everything you need to know for your certification exam. Whether you're just starting or looking to refine your knowledge, this course will set you up for success. Brought to you by baremetalcyber.com. Let's get started. Databases are one of the most important storage solutions in modern computing. While services like S3 or EBS store files and objects, databases organize information so that it can be searched, queried, and updated efficiently. Nearly every application you use, whether it's banking, shopping, or streaming, relies on a database behind the scenes. In AWS, database services are designed to remove the burden of managing hardware and complex software, giving organizations the ability to scale and secure their data more easily. For the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, knowing the basics of AWS database services is essential for connecting cloud computing to real-world business needs. Relational databases are the most traditional type of database. They organize information into tables made up of rows and columns, similar to spreadsheets. Data in relational databases is accessed and managed using structured query language, or SQL. These databases are ideal when relationships between data are important, such as linking customer records to orders in an e-commerce system. Relational databases are powerful, but can also be complex to manage at scale. For the exam, remember that relational databases rely on structured schemas and SQL for organizing and retrieving information. Amazon RDS, or Relational Database Service, is AWS's managed service for relational databases. With RDS, customers can launch and operate databases without handling the underlying hardware, patching, or backups themselves. AWS manages these operational tasks so customers can focus on applications rather than database administration. RDS supports popular database engines like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, SQL Server, and MariaDB. This flexibility allows businesses to migrate existing databases into AWS or start new ones without learning unfamiliar tools. For exam preparation, know that RDS makes relational databases easier to deploy, scale, and maintain. High availability is a critical feature in RDS, achieved through multi-AZ deployments. Multi-AZ means AWS automatically replicates your database to a standby instance in another availability zone. If the primary database fails, the standby takes over with minimal disruption. This design ensures databases remain accessible during outages, reducing downtime for customers. For example, an online retailer using RDS with multi-AZ can continue processing orders even if one availability zone goes offline. For the exam, remember that multi-AZ enhances availability and resilience in relational databases. Read replicas are another RDS feature that improves performance. They are copies of a database that can handle read-only queries, reducing pressure on the primary database. For example, if thousands of users are browsing product pages on a retail site, read replicas can serve those queries while the main database handles updates and transactions. This separation improves efficiency and user experience. On the exam, remember that read replicas are designed for scaling read-heavy workloads, not for high availability like multi-AZ deployments. Amazon Aurora is a specialized relational database engine built by AWS. It is compatible with MySQL and Postgres but designed to deliver better performance and scalability. Aurora automatically replicates data across multiple availability zones, continuously backs up to S3, and can scale to support millions of requests. Despite these advanced features, Aurora costs a fraction of what commercial databases like Oracle typically require. For exam preparation, know that Aurora is AWS's high-performance relational database option, offering both compatibility and enhancements over standard open-source engines. The performance benefits of DynamoDB are significant. Because it avoids the rigid structure of relational databases, it can respond faster to high volumes of queries. DynamoDB also offers features like on-demand capacity, which automatically adjusts throughput, and provision capacity, where customers reserve read and write limits in advance. This flexibility ensures predictable performance. DynamoDB also integrates with caching and global tables for multi-region availability. For the exam, keep in mind that DynamoDB is built for speed and global scalability, particularly for applications with unpredictable or rapidly changing workloads. Amazon Redshift is AWS's managed data warehouse service designed for analytics. Unlike transactional databases that handle day-to-day operations, Redshift processes large datasets for reporting and analysis. Companies use Redshift to run complex queries on years of data, generating insights that support business decisions. For example, a retailer might analyze sales trends across seasons to predict future demand. Redshift integrates with visualization tools to create dashboards for executives. For the exam, know that Redshift is AWS's analytic database service, optimized for big data and reporting. Amazon ElastiCache is another important service, providing in-memory caching. Caching means temporarily storing frequently accessed data in memory for faster retrieval. ElastiCache supports Redis and Memcached, two popular caching engines. This service is often paired with relational databases to improve performance. For example, instead of querying the database every time a user logs in, the application can pull that data from ElastiCache in milliseconds. Caching reduces database load and improves user experience. On the exam, expect to see ElastiCache described as a performance booster for frequently accessed data. The difference between key-value and relational databases is worth emphasizing. Relational databases rely on structured schemas with defined relationships between data points. They are precise and consistent but can be slower for massive, unstructured workloads. Key-value databases like DynamoDB store information more flexibly, with each item identified by a unique key. This makes them faster and more scalable, but less suited to complex queries involving multiple relationships. For the exam, remember that relational databases are best for structured data, while NoSQL key-value stores are best for scale and speed. Backups and snapshots are critical features across AWS database services. RDS automatically creates backups and allows customers to take manual snapshots for recovery. DynamoDB integrates with AWS Backup for automated protection. Redshift also supports snapshots for data warehouse preservation. These features ensure that if data is lost, corrupted, or accidentally deleted, it can be restored quickly. On the exam, know that backups and snapshots are a key part of database durability and business continuity. Finally, the exam places strong emphasis on understanding AWS database services. You may be asked to identify the right service for a scenario, such as which database supports analytics, which scales automatically, or which offers high availability across availability zones. The key is not memorizing every technical detail, but recognizing the strengths of each option. In the real world, this knowledge helps organizations match their needs to the right service, ensuring that databases are reliable, scalable, and cost-effective. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Relational databases are most often used for structured workloads, where relationships between pieces of data are important. Common use cases include financial systems, inventory management, and e-commerce websites. For example, in an online store, relational databases track products, customers, and orders, with relationships defined between each. This structure makes it possible to run detailed queries, such as finding all orders placed by a specific customer in the past month. Relational databases provide reliability and precision, making them ideal for systems where accuracy and consistency are critical to the business. NoSQL databases, like DynamoDB, are better suited for workloads that require flexibility and massive scale. They are commonly used in gaming applications, mobile apps, and Internet of Things platforms, where data can vary in structure and grow rapidly. For example, a social media application may need to store millions of user interactions per day, with different types of data for posts, comments, and likes. NoSQL databases handle this scale easily, offering fast response times even under heavy loads. For the exam, remember that NoSQL databases are optimized for speed and scalability, rather than complex relationships. One of the biggest benefits of AWS database services is that they are managed. This means AWS handles tasks like patching software, creating backups, and replacing failed hardware. Customers no longer need to hire teams to maintain databases at the infrastructure level. Instead, they can focus on building applications. This reduces operational complexity and speeds up deployment. For exam preparation, know that managed services like RDS, DynamoDB, and Redshift are designed to remove administrative overhead while still offering powerful features for developers and businesses. Cost is another important factor when choosing a database. Relational databases running continuously can become expensive, if not optimized with reserved capacity or right sizing. DynamoDB offers on-demand and provisioned pricing, allowing businesses to balance flexibility with predictability. Redshift charges based on the size of clusters and the amount of data stored, while Aurora offers cost savings compared to traditional commercial databases. For exam purposes, you don't need exact prices, but you should know that AWS provides flexible cost models and that customers must select the right service to match workload demands. Hybrid database strategies are common for organizations in transition. A company may keep sensitive databases on premises while moving analytics or backups into AWS. Services like AWS Database Migration Service make it easier to replicate or transfer data between environments. Hybrid strategies reduce risk by allowing gradual migration while still providing access to AWS's scalability and cost benefits. For exam purposes, remember that AWS supports hybrid database approaches, enabling businesses to combine on-premises and cloud resources as needed. Analytics and reporting are best handled by specialized services like Redshift. Redshift allows businesses to analyze terabytes or even petabytes of data quickly, running complex queries that would overwhelm traditional databases. For example, a retail company can use Redshift to analyze years of sales records to predict future buying trends. This supports data-driven decision-making, giving companies a competitive advantage. On the exam, recognize that Redshift is specifically designed for analytics, not for day-to-day transactional workloads. Caching is another technique used to improve database performance, and AWS provides this through Elasticache. By storing frequently accessed data in memory, Elasticache reduces the need for repeated queries to slower databases. For example, a gaming platform might use Elasticache to store player profiles for quick retrieval during gameplay. This improves responsiveness and reduces database load. For exam purposes, remember that Elasticache provides in-memory caching using Redis or Memcached, making it a complement to relational and NoSQL databases. Disaster recovery is a critical concern for databases, and AWS provides multiple features to support it. Snapshots and automated backups ensure data can be restored quickly if something is lost or corrupted. Multi-AZ deployments add fault tolerance, and cross-region replication provides geographic redundancy. For example, a financial institution may replicate databases to another region to protect against large-scale outages. For the exam, remember that AWS database services support recovery strategies at multiple levels, helping businesses maintain continuity. Governance and compliance also play a role in database services. Industries such as healthcare and finance must follow strict rules for storing and accessing data. AWS provides certifications and compliance features that help customers meet these requirements. Customers, however, are responsible for configuring databases correctly and applying controls to meet their specific obligations. For exam purposes, expect questions that emphasize compliance as a shared responsibility, with AWS managing infrastructure certifications and customers managing data and usage policies. For exam preparation, focus on recognizing database services and their purposes. Know that RDS is for relational databases, Aurora is AWS's high-performance relational option, DynamoDB is for NoSQL workloads, Redshift is for analytics, and Elasticache provides caching. You don't need deep technical expertise, but you should be able to identify which service best fits a scenario. This knowledge not only helps on the exam but also prepares you for real-world discussions about database solutions. As we close this episode, remember that databases are a core AWS capability. They enable everything from everyday applications to large-scale analytics. AWS provides flexible, scalable, and secure database options that reduce management overhead and support innovation. For the exam, understanding these fundamentals is critical. In practice, choosing the right database service ensures that organizations can meet performance needs, manage costs, and stay compliant. Databases are not just storage solutions. They are the engines that organize and power the cloud's most important applications. That concludes today's episode of the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Prepcast. Be sure to tune in for the next episode and visit us online at baremetalcyber.com or cyberauthor.me for more resources, including news, mailing lists, YouTube videos, podcasts, and much more.